Johnson.
All right. Get it, LaRinda.
LaRinda Johnson, 4613 13th Street. So I attended the meeting last Monday and I observed two distinct things. First was the community that I saw here, where community members who have lost loved ones because of those who were supposed to protect them struggled to speak because they were overcome with emotion. I saw community members embrace them with their words of encouragement and support, and embrace them again with their arms when they were done speaking. That is love, and that is community. Second, I saw how community members were received by their leaders. I saw the leaders up here focus more on language than the broken hearts in this room. I saw that when challenged with the First Amendment and freedom of speech, the leaders dismissed these claims and mutter under their breath to do some research. I did some research. I found sources and court cases, but I don't want to waste my time with that right now. I believe some were addressed last week anyway, but I suggest you do some research before we get civil rights lawyers involved. In my research, I found the rules and procedures document where below it states that you want the public to research the decorum section of the Roberts Rules and Procedures for parliamentary proceedings, which was written in 1876. First, that section specifically applies to parliamentary debate, of which public speech is not. Second, muttering things under your breath is a greater violation of those rules than a swear word. When I have time, I'll do further analysis of this, but since it seems that you might need that. For now, I'm trying to wrap my head around the fact that government officials believe that a swear word in and of itself could be included in First Amendment exceptions. The exception for a First Amendment right is only to protect the public from physical harm. In relation to public speech, this could be applied in preventing major disruptions and cease order. I can accept the need to keep order in the room. However, had council members stayed quiet, we would not have seen disruption. The presiding officer interrupted Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
And then caused disruption by continually interrupting him and antagonizing him and then removing him. I can only assume that the speech has made you feel uncomfortable. And then you prioritize your comfort over the trauma of black and brown folks. Instead of listening to community members pleading with you to stop the police from harming them, from killing them, and examining why this made you feel uncomfortable, you projected that discomfort in a display of power. You traded your discomfort for dehumanization. If you can't handle criticism or see your constituents as human beings, I suggest a different line of work than serving the public.
Amen.
If I were to bring my niece and nephew here to observe and see examples of how to move through this world, I would drive them to pay attention to the public and all the love and support they show each other. I would use the presiding officer as an example of disrespectful, dehumanizing behavior. Look, we are all human here. We aren't perfect. I'm sure if I said there were a lot of information what I said today, I may cringe over them later. But to quote Maya Angelou, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. As a leader, I would hope that you would ask yourself daily how you can do better. Until then, in the words of Joanna Williams, all the shade.